All right, guys. So we got stock futures ease on Italy's strife. Brazil soars on election news. What's going on in Brazil? We're gonna look at some paper-based stuff today, guys. What's up, Go? What's up, Blah? I want to see about. I didn't even talk about. Oh, there we go. Italian stock market down 2.4%. Budget clash. Wow, Shanghai crumbled 3.7%. Wow. Okay, the EWZ soared 9%. Investors' favorite Jair Bolsonaro took a commanding lead in the presidential election. Let's look at that real quick, and then we'll get to what we need to look at. What's up, Noel? That's the EWZ. See if there's any major reversals there. Crypto breakout? I don't know if much of a crypto breakout is like a crypto sell-off. We're still getting those huge wicks to the upside. XRP is kind of maintaining, but barely. So I don't know about a crypto breakout. They're trying to do something, but it's not a super convincing move right now. Anywho, so there's the Brazilian market, at least in the U.S., the ETF representation of it. And so it soared to 40.10, so it's up a little bit here. And interestingly enough, if you look at this longer term weekly chart, you've got volume increasing right through here, a double bottom, and it's breaking that buy point. So for long-term positions, I'm not sure, exactly how aggressive this is going to get. Probably not super aggressive, but if it does get aggressive, it could be good. So that's always good. Good to keep an eye on stuff when you see when you hear overseas action. All right, let's get to what I really wanted to do. Market's in kind of a tizzy right now. I think I've already got it open. Doesn't look like it. Okay. So let's go to the EIBD, which is their weekly paper put out on Friday. And let's get through the IBD 50. All right. So if you guys don't know about this, which is fine, this is the IBD 50, and you got a little mini chart here with an accumulation distribution rating. You've got annual EPS growth, the PE, the average volume, which on this one is a D. The volume, or average daily volume. I'm sorry, average daily volume. I was gonna say, debt, last quarter EPS, prior quarter sales quarter, 5 quarters EPS, stuff like that. And then below here you have a little technical note that they put, which are pretty valid. All right, extended above a late stage buy point. We don't like extended. We're also looking for notes of. I'll show you what. Okay, near top of buy range, 3 weeks tight entry. That could be good in VNOM. Let me see if I can write a few of these down so we could better spend our time on the charts instead of flipping back and forth. It's an interesting note. Shoot. Hold on, let me grab a pen. Okay, so VNOM, 3 weeks tight. Trigger sell from late stage, not interested in that. A couple of words there I'm sure you can figure out. Late stage stock breaks below 10-week moving average, so late stage means that it's already formed several bases. Those are more likely to pull back. Now on number 5, big volume pullback finds support at 10-week line. That could be good. If you're looking for pullback plays, support at a 10-week line is usually good. Sharp pullback finds support at 10-week moving average. I think we may see a lot like that based on what we've seen the past couple of days in the market. I'm just going to put SUP for support. All right, trigger 25% profit rule after second jump off 10-week line at 79. Sharply extended. Testing 10-week line after sell signal. We don't want a sell signal. Gain from 36 near entry at 60%. Okay to take some profits, you think? Second test of support at key moving average. Seeking support, flat base shows entry. Okay, SIVB, that one we know about. It's got an entry at 33384. That's always good when they point out that. There's a good article. What to do when a stock's cut the 50-day. There you go. Basically means it all depends on the type of the volume, and it means sell. Okay. No, go away. That mouse is horrible. Okay. Drops 8% below sell signal. Forming right side of base. No entry yet on Netflix. Big run after May breakout. Loses 10-week line. Loses 10-week line is not good. And the volume is accelerated on that 10-week line break. Equivalent to the 50-day they were just talking about. Atlassian pulling back to the 10-week support level. Accumulation distribution is a D right now. That's usually not a good sign. Lululemon extended after bounce off 10-week line in August. Gives up 10-week line after breakout from flat base. Okay, there's no in between there. Challenges, entry off late stage flat base. Late stage usually doesn't work very well. Probably not in this market environment. Flirting with 23 entry after support at 10-week line. ATBE. Trigger sell signal. In profit taking from a flat base entry. Testing 10-week line. Again, sharp reversal from high. Gives up support near 10-week after breakout. Pulls back after reaching 20% profit zone. Falls back below. Buy point after low volume breakout. 10-week erased 11% for sell signal. Forming handle and long base with Ulta. This is Ulta. Gives us a buy point. 290.39. Erases gains from entry. Loses support at 10-week line. That's pretty obvious right there. Back below 62.05. Forming flat base right here with EHC. That's good. When you see a lot of that, you know we're in a good market. Which we don't see a lot of that. 82.56 buy point. Accumulation distribution is an E. A, B, C, D, E rating. That's not very good. So I'll have to keep that in mind. Close to giving back all gains from entry. Hits sell signal from buy point below 10-week line. Just below flat bases entry at 10-week line. Gives up 10-week line. Pulling back after reaching 20% buy zone. Or sell zone. Extended from entry of a late stage base. All bad things. Extended after multiple pullbacks to the 10-week line. Support, finding support and pulling back to the 10-week moving average in Apple. Reached 20% profit target. Extended past. In buy range of a flat base Intuit. INTU. 219.56. Old Dominion Freight Line sell signal falls more than 8%. Loses support in buy range of a lopsided base. I'll pass on a lopsided base. Falls 8%. Near buy point of cup without base. Fang. 138.35. Okay, so that's IBD 50. Let's move on to sector leaders. Let's talk about this market trend too. Let's look at the sectors moving. Not much has changed tremendously in the top 36 sectors. So IBD puts things in 197 sectors. And here's the 40 best and the 40 worst. Blue means they moved up in the list. Red means they moved down in the list significantly. So we've got medical services, food prep, computer data storage moving up a little bit, food meat products, and what's doing the worst, autos, electrical semiconductors, energy solar, and there we go. Number one is commercial services advertising. What's up, Nighthawk? Medical is moving up. Medical has been hanging out towards the top, it looks like. It gives you this week's ranking, the rank this week, 3 weeks ago, and 6 weeks ago, so you can kind of see what the general trend has been of these. You want to look for one. So like retail office supplies have been trending down most recently. They were at number 2 for a while. Now they're at 23. Same with cosmetic personal care. So you want to look for like this one's not too bad. 3, 7, now it's number 1. Been pumping money into this space. What you'll notice about this part of the list is it rotates around. Here we go. Sector leaders. Okay. Sector leaders are large cap leaders in their sectors. Triggers late stage sell signal, and the same charts. Flirting with entry after support. The 10-week line is Adobe. We have that. Building right side of cut base. CPE. We don't have this one. I don't know if I've ever seen that one. 14.75. That's pretty cheap for an IBD stock. Pretty cheap. We'll have to look at that. Accumulation B minus. Pretty good. Fortinet sharply extended after multiple rebounds off the 10-week. You can see right there, just in a gradual uptrend. Grubhub late stage stock breaks below 10-week line again, still extended near 79. Forming right side of base, no entry yet on Netflix. Challenges entry of late stage base, meaning it sold off from there. Gives up support after a breakout of Palo Alto Networks, not very good. Still more than 20% above an entry. Take profit. Wow, still more than 20% above that entry. Hit 20% profit target, no new entry. Big pullback, finds support at 10-week line for Vive. We have that. Nearest top of a buy range in a 3 weeks tight entry. In Venom, we have that as well. All right, let's look at some of the other sector leaders review right there. See some IPO leaders. All right, testing 10-week line. Clear consolidation at 10-week line, just below entry. 2 minutes left to the open. We're not going to get to these before the open. That's okay. Forming a new base. Gives a 50% gain. Trying to find support 10-week line. Notice BE is not on this list. WHD is, however, and it's already extended from a breakout. Son of a bitch. All right, so we got a little bit of list. That was a very quick review of the IBD 50. Market's down 0.6% on the Nasdaq after what was Thursday and Friday. A pretty bad route to the downside. Break in definitively that moving average right there, which I think is just a 10-day. Breaking that trend line coming up. Oh, that's a 21-day. This is on a weird one. Where's my 1050? What? Okay, that's a different one. Okay, there's no... I can't get rid of that blue volume ever. um, oh, I know why. That's why it's a future, it's not a stock. Okay. There's the market open. 0.77, 0.78. What's moving, what's not? We got Melly. Tesla's up slightly. Loeb, Coors. NASDAQ down 0.75%. See how they handle this here today on a Monday. EQNR cup with handles. Take a look. Not so much, Noel. So the technicals of a cup with handle are not one where your handle has to be put in way up here. So this is a high. This already means this cannot be a handle by default. So a cup with handle would be, let me show you a cup with handle here. And it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So there's a cup, and it stops right before the previous high, and then it puts in a little handle. Okay. Now it's only a 2-day handle. This is not by any stretch. Just if this was on a weekly chart, this would be a valid cup with handle. But because it's on a daily chart, it's not a valid cup with handle. But this is really the tenets of a cup and handle. It's a nicely formed cup, and then it stops before the previous high. Where this one, your previous high is here. It's well above it, so you really can't have a cup with handle there. Lilly hasn't really opened yet. All right, so far continuing slightly lower on the NASDAQ, almost down 1% on the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the ES. So at this stage in the game, I'm not really looking to enter positions. I'm looking to see how stocks are holding up. I'm looking to see how the market behaves. I switched to cash mostly. I've got Boeing as a position still, which I may end up liquidating. But if the market turns around, Boeing could do pretty good. Let's see what's down today. Tilray, Huya, WB, Cron, Etsy, YY, Roku. Pretty much everything we're looking at on the way up is now down. If this list were inverted, it would be what was a normal day for us in the market last week and prior to that. Of course, I've got the same basic, galaxy of stocks here. I view things like galaxy, universe, solar system type of a thing. And, let's see what happens. Getting down here towards the bottom of yesterday. Seeing if there's more support down here or what we're going to do. But overall, not looking good. Let's go through these stocks that we found on going through the IBD 50 and sector leaders. One of them was Venom. Had a 3 weeks tight. 3 weeks tight pattern. Holding up relatively well, I would guess. VEEV was next. Looks like it's broken down a little bit. 5 had support at the 10-week line, which for some reason I don't have my lines on here, so let me try to get them. Okay, I'm going to have to set this up. Price. Okay. For volume average, right there. This should be on the price. Um, that's not at all what I wanted. How did I screw that up? Okay, looking at moving average. That's what we want. Simple moving average. Finding a little bit of support here. Fairly normalized. Okay, so now we want the 10-day, the 50-day, and the 200-day. There we go. Mucho better. Cool. All right, so 5 finding support. There's the 50-day. Now we're not flying blind here. We were flying blind before. Not so much anymore. Okay, SIVB, which we're well aware about this one. Looks like it's failed our alert level several times. Still waiting on that one. Adobe. Doing pretty good. Hanging out at that 50-week line. So you can see the bottom line's a 200-day. I know they're all blue, but that's just how I like it. The middle's the 50-day, and the top one that moves with the price is the 10-day moving average. Ulta EHC looks much more promising than many of them. I do like that one. Let's go ahead and circle that one. 82.56. That's an interesting proposition on EHC. INTU. Intuit above the 50-day moving average right there. Not too bad. FANG and CPE. We know about FANG. Don't know about CPE. $14. Not quite sure I'm super happy about that chart specifically. Okay. And all that work produced very little results in a market tape that is not very strong as of late. And we've added a few more green to our list here, but nothing very aggressive at all, looking like what could just be a normal day in a bear market would look like this. So normal day in a bear market looks exactly like this. The opposite of the day in a bull market. Yeah, we're not in a bear market, guys. We've only had 2 days of sell-off. We're far from a bear market. Far from a bear market. I was explaining to someone last night, or not last night, in the power hour yesterday, the crypto power hour, that a bear market, and let's go through this chart. Actually, this is probably some good exercises for the broader picture. We spent a lot of time looking at the current price action, but in the end, really do have to take the whole thing into account. So, all right, so a bear market is signified. Hold on a second. See if they'll give me anything that actually will work for me for this. No, I guess we'll just do normal stupid trend lines. Okay, normal stupid trend lines. So from the top here, your normal correction be right there at that's about a 15% correction, and this would be a bear market about over 20%. Right about there. So this would be a normal correction, a standard correction in the markets, which markets tend to do every 9 months, which we don't do very often these days, but that would be standard. And your bear market, the one on the right, we would typically do that every about 2 years or so, on average. Now, it hasn't worked like that in the past. You see we had wasn't quite a correction here. We went down 12.8% in a very short period of time. If you count like shorter corrections, we've already had a couple, but usually markets correct about 15%, and then sometimes up to 20%. And then if they go past 20% correction, we're considered in a bear market. And then a bear market can last up to 2.5 years. The typical, I'm sorry, the typical correction is one every 18 months, typically lasts 9 months. The typical bear market happens every 2.5 years and lasts up to 18 months. Now, those are statistical averages. I wouldn't go counting back 18 months and seeing how many corrections we've had. Because the answer is going to be a very small number, first of all. It's only going to be one. Actually, 0 in 18 months. We've had 0 in 18 months. The only correction we've had, I think, was in 2015 was the last correction. Like a true correction we had. This was a pretty decent little shakeout correction. But it's only down 12%. A lot of people are still going to be, oh, it wasn't a correction, blah, blah, blah. But, it is what it is. What's up, Eli? We already did this, Eli. 12.6%. 12.6%. So, last two major pullbacks we've had 12.6%. Where does that put us? Right about there. That puts us at about 12.6%. Based on what we've done here recently. That would be interesting. So different market behavior from both of these corrections. Number one, the volume's a little bit, well, I guess it's about the same. Those high volume candles were at the bottoms. They weren't at the tops. Like this one here was a pretty big sell bar here. And then we get some more high volume green candles just after that. Wow, remember on Friday I said a distribution day is counted as a day that has higher volume than the previous day, and I didn't think we were going to get that on Friday? We got that on Friday. We got a distribution day. But there was quite a bit of accumulation happening down here. People were picking their spots here, and picking their spots and their noses and buying on that day, absolutely. A little bit of buying there, definitely more buying there, I feel. And then we just need to see how this day plays out today. So with so many, something I wanted to do that I wanted to see if we had these in these previous corrections, if we had these big support days. So up here we had the little round over top, and we started selling off here, and we closed right at the low of the day, and then that preceded this major sell-off day here, which was, most of this whole move was this one day. I mean, if you didn't have this day and bump the price action up, we'd be like here. Wouldn't be that aggressive, wouldn't have undertaken this low. Here we undercut this low, and then we started having some big days here to the upside, very supportive action, but no support days to the downside. This really wasn't a support day at all. Then you move over here to this correction. Here was a support day, and a couple of sideways days where we didn't really get above the close very much, and then we ended up with a no support day here, it's just selling. No support day here, it's just selling. A lighter volume buy day, still pretty heavy though, and then no support. Then you see support here, then you see support here, and then it starts to re-rally. So that's a little interesting to note. Here's a support day, and we chop sideways for a little bit. This is only one sell-off day. We had two so far, but we had support. There's some support here. So I wonder if we're gonna find a little bit more support here than we think. Everyone's looking for the big drop and anticipating the big drop. However, it may take out, and they may take profit on certain names, but if they're rolling that money into different sectors, maybe it's not going to be as bad as people anticipate. Because these days everyone turns bearish really quick. and you don't get those sentiment indicators. Speaking of which, let's see if we can find some of those sentiment indicators. Christian going long on GE. It did have that big up day the other day, which happened to coincide with something else, not related to GE. Okay, there was that big day and it sold off. Yeah, and that's not a good thing, Eli. We want sentiment to remain high so the thing can sell off. But if sentiment stays low, if sentiment turns red quickly, they'll flip it right back and move it to the upside. That's part of what I'm trying to get at. So now we've recovered about half the day's losses. If you buy GE down here, you got to make sure you got to stop on. It can be at these lows. I don't know. So they changed CEOs. That was the news. I thought it was something else. It was not that. I even forget what I thought it was. But if you want to do that, Christian, for GE, make sure you're comfortable with the stop that you have in place. GE's not really out of the woods yet. It could do good things. It could not. And I would give it a little more time to set up a proper buy point and a proper base to buy off of than arbitrarily buying it on Monday when you feel like it. Does that make sense? Don't arbitrarily go, hey, yeah, I'll just buy GE today. Have a plan, work your plan. There's no major plan to buy GE unless you think you're going to buy and hold it until it goes back to 30, 40, 50. I guess that could be the plan. But even if you were to do that, I would still wait for a proper base, because what you see right now on GE is just some reactions. This isn't necessarily institutional accumulation. It could start to be quickly. We do have above average volume over here. It's been above. But also look at the way that this big green candle handled itself. It closed towards the low of the day right there. There obviously was some buying. Someone did have to buy up all those shares, but at the same time, and there was someone willing to sell a bunch right there. If this green volume were flipped and this candle were up here, it'd be obviously a much better situation. So I'd wait for a proper base to form, maybe wait for the earnings call to happen. If this is a long-term play, then maybe take a small position here and then wait for a base to form maybe after earnings, so you can see kind of because the chart pattern is going to show you accumulation or distribution. GE could flounder for another 5 years, man. I mean, you just don't know with this thing. It's such a behemoth, has so many moving parts to it. It's a very complicated company. They could run through another CEO or two before this thing is all said and done. You can't, these turnaround plays are difficult to time unless you see some very, very outward signs of accumulation, which you do get from time to time. You just don't have it in GE. All right, wanting to buy some Tesla. Ooh, back at that 260 handle. Interesting. Let's zoom in on some Tesla. Man, bet you the RSI doesn't even know what to do with itself. I can't tell you the last time I did this, but I'm going to pull up an RSI. I just want to see. Look at that big, look at that. This is hilarious. Doesn't know what to do with itself. Look at that big V right there. Boom, boom. One big gap down day, spike to the downside. Oh, that's funny. Oh man, why'd you get rid of my volume? That's not cool. Meanie. There we go. Okay, yeah, I'm not extra mad at a Tesla buy down here, but you see what happens. That's not too bad. Doesn't Tesla have a pretty clear head and shoulders pattern? No, I don't view it as a clear head. I would view this as a much more clear head and shoulders pattern. Very symmetrical. Check Slack. Okie dokie. There we go. The heck is that? Yep. Yeah, we had this. I had this channel drawn for a long time. I don't think we'd whipsaw around it though. I kind of have it respecting here and here and here. Looks like you've got it. Yeah, pretty much about the same. Now yours undercuts here, it looks like. Huh. Oh, you have yours at a slightly different angle. That's why. Yeah, all good, whatever. Close enough. Close enough. But yeah, towards the bottom of this channel, maybe we get back up towards the top. That could be good for a bounce. You never know. $50 Tesla measured like other car makers, but those car makers also don't have an industrial power division and a solar division. Tesla's a much broader company. It's kind of like the GE of of today. You know, they do everything electricity. Everything you do with electricity, they'll basically do it. I'm surprised they don't have LED light bulbs out yet. They'll probably buy Cree next week. Who knows? But Tesla also has the sales growth of a tech company. I mean, they just put out sales numbers that I think are quite impressive. They're shipping out 20,000 EVs a month right now, and yeah, it's gonna be great. I think their sales are gonna go through the roof as their quality improves, as they're able to scale up a little better, and then when they have Model 3 production steady, then they'll probably move on to that Roadster, and which I don't. I think the Roadster is just for fun. It's not really a money maker. The real money maker is the semi truck. If they can get those, if they do that semi truck and the Roadster at the same time, they need to get that semi truck out there. It's a whole different market segment. It's a commercial buyer. Dude, if Walmart right now is talking to Tesla, just buy frickin' Tesla. I mean, come on. If that Tesla with their automated driving, and I was looking at a Walmart truck the other day thinking about, man, if Walmart just bought a bunch of Teslas and cut their fuel costs down again by like another 20-30%, that's actually going to make them somewhat of a profitable retailer. Because they own their own fleet. If you guys didn't know, they bought out some trucking company like 10 years ago, and they just run their own fleet, which is a very smart business move. And then if they go in and make a deal with Tesla, I mean, come on. They're going to get fuel savings galore. And then they're going to sell like 1 million semi trucks. If Walmart went to Tesla and said, "Look, we're going to buy every semi truck from you for the next 5 years," you know, I think that'd be cool. They got night transportation. Then they're slowly becoming a great car manufacturer, and then they're going to become exactly Real Dreams by Randy. Well, that's yet to be seen, Sankt. That's yet to be seen. So here's the thing that everyone forgets with Tesla, and sounds like EOS. Yeah, no, Tesla actually has working products. So you almost sound like a Tesla hater. I'm not saying you are, but you almost sound like when I had a conversation on Twitter with someone, if you can have a conversation with Twitter, on Twitter, what I said is that people view Tesla, I think people view Tesla in the wrong light. People think because Tesla never delivers on time, and I agree with that. Tesla never delivers on time. All right, getting a little bit of a bounce day in the market here. Let's see how it responds here. Here, yeah. So in the end, here's the thing about Tesla. People view Tesla in light of, oh, it has this issue and that issue. What company doesn't have issues? Okay, every company's got some problem. Tesla's issue is Elon Musk is his goals are extremely aggressive. He has extremely aggressive goals, and he never meets his timelines. But guess what? He always meets his goal. In the end, he meets the goal, and that's what you have to look at here, I think. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand, is that, yes, he's aggressive, yes, he speaks out of his butt, but he always meets the goal. Model 3 production is here, right? Model S, basically done. No one disputes the Model S is a good car anymore. When they were giving it shit all over the place early on. And everyone was saying they couldn't meet their Model 3 production goals. Now it's here. Next is going to be the Roadster and the Semi and whatever weird cockamamie thing that they come up with next to Tesla. But they meet all those goals. They just meet them all. And in the end, I think that's what you have to look at. The guy does deliver. He does put out horrible tweets, and he should just shut up on Twitter. I agree with that. But yeah, he needs to take a vacation. He doesn't need to burn out. What profit? Amazon didn't pull a profit for years. Amazon had a PE ratio and still has a PE ratio of infinity. And they weren't profitable for years, and now everyone wishes they would have jumped on the Amazon train. It's going to be the same way with Tesla. These people are revolutionizing our world. Amazon is a slow but sure progress to, internet domination. And they're basically there. They've basically been there for the past 3 to 4 years. And it's only getting more dominant, and their pricing, and you can see them increasing their prices. When's the last time you actually found a deal on Amazon? Very rarely these days do you actually find a deal on Amazon anymore. It used to be a place to find a deal. Now you're just so used to going there because it's easy. You go there. Tesla's going to be the same way. Their cars are going to be so reliable. They're going to be so good. People are just going to buy them or rent them, whatever the case may be. In profitability, we'll see this. This quarter. Musk said they should be profitable third into the fourth quarter of this year. So we, according to his standards, should see some profitability. And if that doesn't happen, we could see some big negative reactions in the stock. But I think in the end, everyone's looking at the growth story, and it's a growth story. So, you got different kinds of stocks, just like you got different baskets of investors. We've talked about that. You've got different baskets of companies. You've got extreme growth companies which reinvest everything that they make, which Amazon almost still is to this day. Tesla is exactly that. They reinvest everything. It's not that they don't. It's not that their products aren't individually profitable. They just have a ton of R&D expenses. You know what I'm saying? Their R&D expenses are through the roof. And these are research and development expenses. As soon as these expenses drop, you're going to see the profitability rise, right? Everyone's just thinking profit, but dig a little deeper. What's behind the negative earnings? What is it? Is it the fact they don't make money on their products? Is it the fact their products have a negative margin? Or is it the fact that they're pumping so much into R&D, physical assets, at least for this specific company, physical assets, that if they ever stop doing that, which I don't think they will for a while, but I think they need to show some kind of profit. But I don't think they should show too much profit. I think they need to keep a high R&D going. I saw an article the other day that was interesting that, basically kind of like pharma. An article the other day that their gigafactory is 2 years ahead of schedule in terms of what they're able to produce, which I thought, I never heard that before. I thought that was crazy. He said they were going to reach like 36 terawatts by 2020, and they're already doing it, which is phenomenal. I mean, which is really phenomenal. So, their cars are more profitable than any other car manufacturer. I don't think we hear too much about their solar division, which probably is still crap, because they have to compete with other crap solar companies. I don't know about their industrial power division. They seem to be selling a crap ton of that stuff. So, hopefully that's doing well. I haven't really dug too much into their earnings from that point. Everyone's so focused on the cars. But yeah, I think overall, if you look at it, man, look, their Model S is done and delivered. X is done and delivered. No one cares. They're talking about the future stuff. They're not talking about, the Model S. Model S S's are exploding like left and right. They're not talking about the motors are garbage. They're not talking about reliability problems. What you hear about Tesla is all. I mean, if you like, actually, man, sorry. Like if you look at what they're doing versus what people are saying they're doing, right? Like those are two different things. Tesla tells you what they're doing wrong, and it's usually fixed within a month or two. And of course they're going to do stuff wrong. No one's ever done anything like what they're doing before. No one. So, he went fully automated with the assembly line, realized that was garbage, took control of it personally. Yes, worked his butt off, got burnt out. But now it appears to be resolved. He rolled back some automation, put in more people, switched roles on a few situations. Actually did really good work, made some decisions, realized he made mistakes, fixed those mistakes, on to the next thing. That's how you win. That's how you win right there. And all this action recently, it's just been a bunch of stupid retail investors. um, he got into gothic babes. Oh, did he? Oh, that's not good. Sell the stock. Sell it if he's gotten into gothic chicks. I don't know any goth that's a multi-billionaire. Maybe he'll be the first. Who knows? Anywho, yeah, long term, I think Tesla's good. I think Tesla's good as long as it delivers on its goals. It doesn't even have to be on time. As long as the company's there. As long as the company exists and can progress, it's good to go. That's it. Elon's going to perform. He's performed in every one of his companies. He's going to perform in Tesla. No one questions SpaceX. He's going to be fine. About solar, they consolidated because solar was profitable as a business. Okay, well, that's good. Unaware of that. Yeah, like let's look at their solar industrial power business. Or Tesla. I wonder what that does. Power pack. I want a power pack, damn it. So here's a fun article. Not sure if this is, the best website, but starting to actually become an energy company. See if they have some numbers. Energy storage figures include 129 megawatt hours of potential output from huge projects in South Australia. Yeah, they've done all kinds of stuff. Okay, here we go. Auto sales at 2.8 billion will continue to dwarf the energy at 410 million for quite some time, which is fine. So autos are still their largest division by what, 6-to-1 ratio. Although we're not quite sure what the Solar City is, if this is included. Energy, if Solar City is included in here, I'm not quite sure. Tesla has reported shrinking solar installations every quarter as it has scaled back the solar investment. Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. And they basically have like a 27 to 30% gross profit margin, which is tremendous for a car manufacturer. Cool. So they're growing. They're doing good. I don't know if that's the best article, but yeah, let's see what else we got. I'm actually kind of curious about this. Yeah, Tesla fulfilled his 100-day Australia battery bet. Why can't he do more stuff like that and less stuff like talking crap? Pot stock craze? Well, we've kind of been involved in the pot stock craze a little bit. Eli Lilly up 0.6% again. Dang. We need to get the stock shed back up today, Eli. Need to get that up soon. So let's look at TLRY down 4%. MJ forming a nice little consolidation here is MJ. Very nice and healthy. So Tilroy's doing pretty good too. Never did break that $100 level. We'll see if it happens. But Eli Lilly just rocking it. Alright, so where's my... AMRN up 2% today. Our Quad U is up pretty good today. Let's throw that up there. There's Quad U. Nice little cup base formed right there. We'll see if we get a handle. Hmm. Oh, 708 already. Don't know if the kids are up. Let's go through the stocks that are going up today. We got Melly coming out of a kind of a weird large base. Melly could be interesting. Quad U, we just talked about them. Ruger coming back. Dorm, Pergo, whatever. Alta, BCC, Hertz, Rent-A-Car, Chesapeake Energy looking pretty decent. Foot Locker, bit of a support there at 45 and change. GNC, we noted them a while ago popping up out of this area and then now flagging out. 50-day holding it down. ABC looking pretty good coming out of this flat area right there over 95. Let's get them on the stock shed, Eli. We got to get that going today, dude. I missed that tool. O'Reilly looking really nice up here. These are a lot of stocks we haven't seen up on this list before. We haven't seen them up this high in a while. Stars. Today's probably a good day to buy Tesla. NVGS. Very cuppish right there. Not too bad at all, as a matter of fact. I am on the daily. It looks like I'm looking at completely different stocks than I was a week ago. OGMRF is a marijuana stock on the over-the-counter exchange. It's not on the NASDAQ, but looks like it may be ready to break up. Coors, CDNA. I got to run here in a little bit. Just want to breeze through these. Twitter. Twitter's slightly increasing volume here, not really going down too much. Maybe it could be getting ready to get healthy again. We'll have to wait and see. I think it just dropped, so it threw me out of where I was. There's Eli Lilly, which is looking great. Timas, ABBV, AbbVie, this is a pharma company. Very tight action here. Come on. Depending on how you want to draw these trend lines. Usually not something I do very much is trade off of situations like this in stocks, but I've been doing crypto a lot, so it gets me interested in those. So, all right, guys, I'm going to bone out of here. If you're around, Eli, I'll hit you up on Slack when I get back from dropping the kids at school, and we'll get stock shed up and going again. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.